Here's a moment between the very best in men's tennis. Are these people competing or cooperating? You might think it's pretty obvious, but there's something we're missing. Of course, our two players are competing, but how come they only serve when it's their turn? Why don't they serve from the net rather than the baseline? Then they could smash one ace after another. They can't do that because it's against the rules. And it's around those rules that the players cooperate. We take their cooperation so seriously that if one player won't cooperate, the umpire is there to make them cooperate. A game like tennis is the departure point for these videos. It allows us to explain our rules of life. The first rule is this: the world is an ecology of private and shared purposes. We think of private competition versus sharing and cooperation as opposite ends of a spectrum, but in our example of tennis, they mutually define and reinforce each other. We use graphics like this to illustrate the private and the shared aspects of our lives. The private individualistic elements always arise in a context in which fundamental things are shared. Here are the players, but as you can see, they can't play tennis without sharing two things. One, resources, the court, the lines, the net, the balls, and two, governance. That is, agreement on rules and how they're applied. Now we knit all these elements of the game together. If the private and shared elements complement each other, our graphic captures this by giving equal space to each. Where they balance each other, their ecology is healthy. In sport, where competition works within the rules, the fiercer the competition, the better the game. But what if governance is weak? Imagine a Wimbledon final without an umpire. Now the players compete harder, but only by arguing about line calls. As the shared aspects of the game decay, it degenerates in two ways. One, it's worse to watch and play, and two, it's less fair, rewarding aggression ahead of skill. This illustrates our second rule of life. Where private and shared purposes reinforce each other, their ecology is healthy. Where they undermine each other, that ecology becomes unhealthy. An invitation to inefficiency, an obstacle to excellence, an on-ramp for cheating, a leg up for the pushy, an engine of oligarchy. This series gives us a new way to see how these problems fester all around us. Just as a game of tennis is its own specific ecology of private and shared purposes, so too is a school, a job, a profession, social and mass media, a government or a nation. Today, the shared aspects of each of these institutions are being colonised by private interest and by one faction ahead of another. That's driving those who feel left out crazy. With our planet at risk, so is our capacity to make sane political decisions. With new ways to see the problem, new solutions arise. So join us as we explore our economic, social and political worlds. We're thinking of big systemic problems, but we always start by exploring the everyday. And it all starts with another ecology of private and shared purposes, a conversation.